What if I told you there was one technique to not only create unlimited house flips, but this same technique could lead you to making over $100,000 a month? Well, that's exactly what I'm about to show you. And here's the best part. I did all of this, and you can too, with zero of your own money. See, this technique is called private money lending. I've cracked the code to private money lending and six-figure profits, and I'm laying it all out here for you in this video. So stick around. I promise you're gonna wanna stay till the end of the video. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Geoff Kudlacz, AKA Jeffrey Dollars. I am a real estate investor and the creator of the Stealthwealth Profit System program. I'm also the host of the hit YouTube show, Real Estate Riches, the only program out there that shows you the good, the bad, and the ugly about flipping houses and how you can be successful at it as well. Since I did my first house flip in 2016, I've flipped over 350 homes. I've done over $50 million in transactions, and my business now generates between $100,000 and $200,000 each month flipping houses. So in this video, I want to go over one of the key concepts that was so monumental in my success to scaling my house flipping business to over 5 houses each month consistently. I'm going to detail out the steps and strategies you can flip houses using a concept called OPM, and that stands for other people's money. Now, OPM is exactly what it sounds like. It's using other people's money to fund your real estate projects while you get to keep a majority, if not all of the profits in exchange for a simple interest agreement and or any type of fees. The world of private money is so vast and so large that it cannot be underutilized or underemphasized because there is so much money out there that is looking to be placed in investments that you, even if you get a small little sliver of the world of private money, you will be wildly successful. At any given time, I have over $10 million in private money at my disposal to use whenever I need it or whenever it's necessary. Now, using the techniques I'm about to show you in this video, you can replicate my exact strategy that took me from literally zero to now over 6 figures a month in profits flipping houses. And I do this without using a dime of my own money, using a private money lending model that I'm about to cover in this video. So my life wasn't always like this. Let's rewind back to March of 2016 when I flipped my very first house. I was stuck in a job that I really hated and I was desperate to find a way out. I had just left the military in 2015 and I got a desk job because I needed to pay my bills and I had a family to support. I had read about flipping houses online and I took a leap of faith. I even cashed out my retirement savings because I was so desperate to leave. It was a grueling process and there was a lot to learn along the way, but I was instantly hooked the moment I saw that very first wire hit my bank account. So fast forward to today, I have since quit that job in March of 2016, and now my company does 5 house flips each and every month using 100% private money lending. When I first started out exploring the concept of private lending, I realized that I was limited by how much money I could actually spend, and that prevented me from actually scaling my business. So this is a concept that everybody has to learn in the house flipping industry, is that you are limited by how much money you personally have, because eventually you will run out of money. This is the exact same concept for everyone else. So until you understand and utilize the power of OPM and private money lending, you will never scale to a level of success that you could only dream about. Now, when I first ran into this challenge, I thought, if I can use other people's money, there is literally no limit to how many houses I can work on. It was in an instant that the light bulb went off in my head, and from that moment on, I started developing private money lending relationships as much as I could. I spent the next 5 years developing relationships with private money lenders, and now I have $10 million in private money at my disposal at any given time. The very first time I used private money, I was nervous, I was scared and excited all at once because I have somebody else's money in my possession invested in a project, and the success and failure of that project and their return on investment solely rests on my shoulders. When you're borrowing other people's money, there's a lot of emotions that come with it. And you can experience everything that I experienced on my very first time using private money, but once you replicate your success over and over and build a track record, then you start to see exactly how far you can scale. My first time using private money, I executed the flip and made $37,000 in profit. I didn't use a single penny of my own money, and it was at that time that I knew I had to develop these relationships over and over again. I thought, if I can do more of this, I will only be limited now by the number of houses that I can buy, not by the amount of money that I have access to. One of the biggest benefits of using private money and the world of OPM is that it is a non-traditional way of getting funding for your projects. The traditional way of funding your projects is go to a bank or a credit union in which they have very strict lending requirements. That's not the case with private money lenders, because now you are able to negotiate exactly the terms and conditions that are most favorable to you between you and the private lender. That's it. If you have other partners or other people that lend you the money, you are able to negotiate terms that are favorable to you as well. Now, when you've actually secured a private money investment, it's what's called a collateralized loan, which means the loan is backed by the physical asset, the house in which you are flipping. It's also secured by a legal document called a deed of trust or a promissory note, or both, which is an agreement that states that you promise to pay the money back, and if you default for some reason, your private money lender has access and the rights to the collateralized asset, which is the house. It's also good to add them as an additionally insured on the property, so that if there is a worst case scenario or if something happens to the house, they are in first position as the private money lender to the rights of the house. Now, there's many benefits of using private money, such as less personal financial risk. You are not actually risking your personal assets. You have the ability to scale your operations because you now are only limited by the number of deals and private money you have access to. But now you don't have to put your personal funds into your projects, and you are no longer limited by how much money you personally have. You can literally buy a house using private money with no money out of pocket, and you pay all of your interest and fees on the back end. You can negotiate all of your borrowing costs, like your renovation costs, your holding costs, which are your mortgage payments, your utility costs, your insurance costs, and then any interest and fees that your private money lender is going to charge you. There are also some challenges that come when using private money lending, and the first one is that it can be very stressful. You now have a large amount of money secured in an investment that you are in charge of. The success and failure rests 100% on your shoulders, and you have a duty and an obligation to pay your private money lender back. The other challenge associated with private money lending is that it can be a closed group and potentially tough to break into. Private money lenders are going to want to see a track record or a series of successful projects that you can show them that you have done other investments for and have been successful at it. But using the techniques I'm going to show you in this video, you are able to overcome these and increase your likelihood of achieving private money relationships. So the first step to using private money is that you have to have a deal to invest the private money into. Any potential property that you secure that has massive profit potential, you need to utilize tools and methods for finding these undervalued properties that are ideal for flipping. This can be through a network of wholesalers or real estate agents, or even direct to seller marketing, to where you are directly negotiating with the seller or property owner. Whatever method that you choose to find your potential property with profit potential has to be unconventional to find, because you are not going to find any deals that are on the MLS or the multiple listing service, which is the service that real estate agents use to market properties. You are not going to find any with profit potential listed on the MLS. 9 times out of 10, these deals are going to be off market, and there has to be, number one, there has to be some sort of distress, and number two, there has to be some sort of motivation to sell to you at a discount. So once you have a potential property identified, the next step is to analyze a property's potential return on investment. The first step is that you want to calculate the ARV, which is the after repair value. This is another way of saying what are you able to sell the house for once it is fixed up. After you have the ARV done, estimate your renovation costs and determine any buying and selling costs. In addition to your buying and selling costs, you also want to determine what your holding costs are going to be. And as I mentioned earlier, these are utility payments, mortgage payments, and any insurance payments. Now, once you have all of your costs figured out, you will determine your profit potential by using the ARV and subtracting out your renovation costs, your buying costs, your selling costs, and your holding costs. And the number that you arrive at is your profit potential. So let's say I have a $200,000 ARV, and subtracting all of my costs, my renovation, buying, selling, and holding costs, they add up to $150,000. So $200,000 minus $150,000 is $50,000 in profit potential. Now that we have a deal identified and we have massive profit potential, the next step is to secure our financing with our private lender. Now you also want to secure private money lending before you actually need it, because you want to be able to lock up a deal as soon as it meets your criteria. You don't want to get a massive deal with 50, 60, even $100,000 in profit potential and simply lose out because now you have to go out and find your funding for it. You need to start developing private money relationships before you actually need them. And then once you have a deal you can lock up, you are able to get it under contract and follow through on the purchase. Now there's different types of financing when it comes to private money lenders in the world of OPM. The first are private lenders, and these are just high net worth individuals, very wealthy individuals who have their personal funds that are interested in funding your deals. The second type of financing is a hard money lender. Now this is going to be a fund and more of a structured organization that will charge you interest and fees to fund your acquisitions or your purchase of the property. You can also choose to partner up with other individuals to secure the financing you need in exchange for a profit sharing agreement that states you both are going to put money in, or they're going to put the money in to purchase your deal, and then you each split the profit according to whatever you negotiate. Now there are pros and cons to each one of these types of financing avenues, but in my experience, private lenders, private money lenders, and partners are the best because you are able to negotiate your terms, your conditions, and any type of profit sharing. Now, when it comes to hard money lenders, they are able to offer you better terms the more deals that you do with them, but you still have a floor of a interest rate and or fees that they have to charge. This means that they have a minimum amount of fees and interest that they have to charge because they have investors investing in their hard money fund. Now, once you've identified a financing partner through some sort of avenue of non-traditional financing, the next step is to pitch them to the investor and lender. And when you pitch to an investor or a private money lender, you need to answer what I call the big three. Now, these are three questions that every investor or lender is going to want to know. The first one is, how much money do you need? How much money are you looking for? What will I get in return in exchange for being your private lender, such as a return on investment or profits or any other term and condition? And when will I get my money back? You need to determine your timeline, how long will the money be tied up for, and what is your exit strategy to pay your private lender off. The key here when you are pitching to your private lenders is to highlight any past experience or success you've had on other investments. It's also advantageous to show how you have taken somebody else's money and successfully returned it while also making a profit on your property. Now, if you don't have any experience yet, present a hypothetical situation to the private lender and show them exactly how you would work through a scenario from the acquisition to the purchase of the house, to the renovation, to the actual disposition or the sale of the property and return the private money funds. You also want to show your private lender a solid business plan. And in there, you want to detail out exactly how you are going to acquire these deeply discounted properties. It's also important to outline your renovation plans with contractor estimates and any agreements that you have. And then show them what your projected costs are, how long your project timeline is going to take, and if any contingencies arrive, how are you going to mitigate these? The best thing that you can do when you create a solid business plan is to think of every scenario and provide an example of how you would overcome that and above all, protect your investor's investment. Now, when you are pitching your private lender, explain the benefits of how this is a safe investment backed by a physical asset. Show them the exit strategies that you already have in place and that you've thought out so that you are able to return their capital. And once their capital has been returned, show them exactly what their ROI or return on investment that they can expect will be. It's also key to portray yourself as the market expert and demonstrate your market knowledge. Show up to your pitch meeting with comparable property values of other home sales in the neighborhood. Show that there is a demand for flipped properties to the specific type of renovation that you plan to accomplish. Show them as much data as you can to present a very thorough knowledge of any market dynamic that can come up. There's free tools that you can use online to collect this data, or I would suggest enlisting a real estate agent to gather this data for you because they have access to paid tools and research information that you may not have access to. During the pitch meeting, you also want to do as much as possible to build your credibility and build a track record and ultimately trust with your lenders. If you have a track record, show it. Show all of your successes and how you overcame any type of failures. Also introduce the key team members that you have behind you. Real estate is not a solo sport. You have supporting key team members around you to make sure that your project is going to be successful. Now, once you've identified an off-market deal with huge profit potential and you've identified and secured a private money investment, the next step is to actually renovate and flip the property. And this is executing on your business plan. One thing you should also do is develop a very detailed timeline for contractors and tradesmen to follow so that there is no wasted time during the actual renovation process. You want to implement the concept of stealth wealth. Now, what's the concept of stealth wealth? It's creating the highest amount of value in the house possible for the lowest amount of money possible. Now, this can be done through aesthetics such as paint or low-cost fixtures or fake wood beams, even upgraded hardware. Whatever is going to create an emotional response from buyers, as soon as they see your house flip and tour it, they're going to write an offer that's full price or even over asking. You are essentially creating wealth for the lowest amount of money possible. Now, whenever you're going through your renovations, don't waste time, especially when you're starting out, until you have at least 30 deals or more fixing foundations, moving walls, redoing plumbing, because your ARV is not going to support a high resale value. Buyers expect the walls not to be caving in. This does not add value to your house whatsoever. Now, when you're actually renovating the project, it is key to manage your contractors and other people involved in the project as much as possible. This can include weekly check-ins to make sure that you are staying on budget and on schedule. It's also important to keep a bookkeeper or CPA to categorize all of your dozens of transactions so that you're going to know in real time exactly where your budget is. Also, when you are project managing a renovation, anticipate problems before they come up. This can be material shortages or labor shortages or even selling the house. The important point to understand here is to figure out what problems could arise and figure out solutions to them before they actually come up. Now, once you finish the renovation, the next step is to dispose or sell the property. The key to selling a property fast is marketing it very effectively with these strategies and making sure that the renovation was completed properly. Always want to have very high definition photos because the photos are what buyers are going to see online before they actually tour your house. A detailed listing of the house and what renovations were done can help create more of the emotional response that will lead to a tour leading to an offer. Now, this is very market specific, but you can lightly stage the house if necessary. You don't have to go all out and spend thousands of dollars on the staging unless your market demands it. One little hack that I like to do in my house flips is I use scented plugins to make certain areas of the house smell better than others to where the buyers are going to be spending the most time, like the kitchens, the bathrooms, and the master bedroom. Now, once you've received an offer, hire a good agent to negotiate on your behalf if you don't have your real estate license. Now, I don't recommend getting your license because your number one focus needs to be on creating more stealth wealth, and that's getting more deals, finding more private money lenders, and scaling your business. So now that we've successfully completed a project, it's now time to roll your profits into new projects so that you can scale for growth. Now, I really want to emphasize the philosophy of utilizing delayed gratification, and that's not going out and spending all your profits immediately. It's delaying gratification and spending your money on material items and reinvesting those profits into further houses so that you can grow and grow. Here's an example on how you can reinvest your profits. You take the profits from your house flip that you just completed and you buy another house. You also pay back your private lender with the proceeds, and then you utilize them for another house. So now you have two houses going when before you only had one. Now that you're building up your track record, you're getting more wins, you're getting more success. Now you can prospect for more and more private lenders now that you have proof of concept. So if you complete all of these techniques and strategies that I've outlined here in this video, you will be at $100,000 in profit before you know it. There is literally no limit to the amount of deals that you can get or to the amount of money that you have access to if you follow these steps. I can't emphasize the concept of private money and OPM enough. I contribute that to my number one point to how I was able to succeed and scale as fast as I have and get eventually to $100,000 to $200,000 consistently each month. If you understand the concept of OPM and you understand how to secure financing and build relationships, analyze deals, renovate your projects successfully, and then market and sell them, you will scale beyond your wildest dreams. So that's the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more insider tips on flipping houses. If you got questions, drop them in the comments below and I will get back to you personally. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you next time.